Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Sunday, April 3rd, 2022, and sadly, a couple of mass shootings in the news. One in Dallas, and one getting more attention because reportedly more people were killed in Sacramento, right next to the capital of California. And of course, on February 18th, Gavin Newsom gave his speech about gun control, and he said there will be major reform in the state of California this year. And we covered why he gave his speech on gun control on February 18th. And we said to look out for a major shooting ritual in connection to that speech. And lo and behold, a very familiar pattern has unfolded. And I think a lot of us in this community were suspecting there'd be a big news story today, something like this, because it's the 93rd day of the year on a Sunday. And of course, they say the sun's 93 million miles away. And if you're new here, we'll get to why that's so important. But here's the deal. Gavin Newsom gave his speech February 18th about gun control. Now, early April 3rd, you get a shooting 44 days later. And again, in the language of Gematria, which is the language our government works by every single day to orchestrate the chaos, to manufacture the consent within society. Within this code, shooting equals 44. And again, I have a very big book, Letters and Numbers, where that book has books within books. And one of the longest chapters in that book is over 100 pages long. And it's about mass shootings by the numbers. And the most recurring pattern is 44. So often, mass shootings come in 44 rituals. And again, exactly 44 days after the governor who resides in Sacramento gives this speech, you have a shooting right next to the Capitol building of all places. And that's not all. In light of it being the 93rd day of the year and then reporting the shooting happened at 2:01 a.m., again, in this code, it's very simple. It's the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. When you write out Order of Illuminati, which is the official name of the Illuminati founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, it equals 201 with the alphabetic order and 93 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology. And again, the Illuminati was established by Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit, who died in history 201 days after the anniversary of the order's establishment. It was established May 1st, 1776. He ended up dying November 18th, 1830, which was 201 days after the May 1st anniversary. Again, so many rituals are performed around this number 201 that come to steering the populace. Here's a big one. Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation 1 month before the outbreak. But notice, where Order of Illuminati is 201, the Jesuit order is 201, and Gavin Newsom is Jesuit educated. He went to the University of Santa Clara, there in the Bay Area. But at 2:01 a.m. on the 93rd day of the year, and notice Gavin Newsom's 54 years old right now. Remember, they say the sun is 93 million miles away. With the alphabetic order, sun equals 54, whereas Jesuit order with numerology equals 54. And of course, their logo is the sun. That's why John Carroll established the first Jesuit university, Georgetown, January 23rd, 1789, just days after his 54th birthday. But just realize this big ritual comes while Gavin Newsom is 54. And again, the Jesuits serve the Pope. Notice, from Pope Francis's birthday, December 17th, Saturnalia, to this shooting on the 93rd day of the year, it's 107 days later. And shooting is 107. And in light of his birthday being on Saturnalia, the only planet that has Gematria 93 is Saturn, which is the keeper of time. So again, on the 93rd day of the year, 107 days after the Pope's birthday, a huge shooting in a state that's bigger than most countries in this world. And again, shortly after, the governor says there will be major gun reform in the state. Again, the Jesuits are all about undermining, the rights and liberties of others. The Jesuits have been kicked out of many nations over the years because they try to have too much influence within societies. And notice, I was watching the reporter on the scene this morning, And he says, we're at the corner of K and 9th Street. And again, most people don't even get it. K and 9th Street. K's the 11th letter. So K and 9, 11 and 9. Vatican equals 119. Francis 119. But anyway, notice what streets they locked down. They locked down 13th through 9th Street. 13th through 9th. Gun control has gematria of 139 forwards. 49 when you use numerology. Gavin Newsom gave his speech on gun control on the 49th day of the year, 131 days after his own birthday. So they locked down 13th through 9th Street after Newsom's speech on the 49th day of the year, 131 days after his own birthday. And just to go back to that, again, here was the post from February 18th. I did a video, and I pointed out, from Gavin Newsom's birthday to the speech February 18th, 131 days. That was the 49th day of the year. And I did say watch out for the 139th day of his age, the 56th day of the year. We know Gavin Newsom equals 56, like Society of Jesus, like coronavirus, like COVID vaccine. And don't forget when he locked down California, he said 56% of the state would get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. But February 25th passed in California without incident. But look what else I wrote. Keep an eye on the 44 dates as well. We know how often they're used in shootings. So what happens? Again, 44 days after his speech, a mass shooting right next to the Capitol. It's just like, it just so, again, for people who are new here, if somehow you're stumbling onto this video, which is very hard to do at this day and age with the algorithms and censorship, had I done this video in 2016, it probably would have got 50,000 views. 2017 probably would have got 100,000+ views. Of course, my channel was deleted for the first time in 2017. And to make a point about 2017, I contend that the real reason they deleted my channel that year is because I was saying all year why people needed to circle the weekend of Yom Kippur because it fell on the day leaving 93 days left in the year. And I said, just watch. We're going to get the biggest mass shooting. We're going to get the biggest false flag in this nation since 9/11. And don't forget the World Trade Centers were bombed in 93. And with regards to that, and this coming on the 93rd day of the year, also circulating in the news on the 93rd day of the year, they're saying late last night, just before midnight, there was a shooting at a concert in Dallas that injured 10 and killed 1. 10-1. Do you remember what day the concert shooting was in 2017 at the Jason Aldean concert? By the way, Jason Aldean equals 201. Las Vegas Strip 201. Who built Las Vegas? The mob. Who are the Jesuits? The mob. Anyway, it's the same numbers, isn't it? The first day of the 10th month. Now we have 1 dead, 10 wounded at a concert in Dallas. A headline that's circulating as the same time as the mass shooting in Sacramento that has everything to do with 93, which was the same as, the Jason Aldean concert. Yom Kippur fell on the day leaving 93 days left in the year. As Yom Kippur ended, you had the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting on the day leaving 91 days left in the year. And again, they said it was the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. And all year we pointed out why that was going to happen by understanding the importance of these numbers and how they're used ritualistically over and over to shape the nation. Again, if you've ever heard the world is a stage, this is what it means. Create the scene, create the story, use the story to move the people. Create a story about a boogeyman in a cave that caused the perfect demolition of the towers, then use that as an excuse to take away rights and liberties and send off a bunch of young people to fight a needless war so that they can either come back in a body bag or come back with a new mental condition, depressed, ending up homeless like so many of the people on the streets of so many cities in the U.S. They like to shine a spotlight on Seattle, its homeless population. Go see how many of those homeless people are veterans. People who got their head messed up in the war. But anyway, it's clockwork, you guys, and, I'm finishing this is my last book, which talks about these same patterns, but I'm finishing up my book right now, Illuminati Confirm, the Jesuit Order, where everything we're talking about here, there's just countless examples of how these numbers come together. Don't forget what happened at the end of last year. 201 days after Alec Baldwin's birthday, on the 93rd day of the year, he supposedly shot the Ukrainian woman, and it was compared to the death of Brandon Lee in 93, who was buried on Alec Baldwin's birthday on the 93rd day of 93, and Brandon Lee's death was compared to game of death, Bruce Bruce Lee, his father's last film that he died while filming, when Bruce Lee ended up dying on the 201st day of the year, July 20th, 1973. So that was all about 93-201. So often it is. The World Trade Centers bombed in 93. 2 towers became 0 towers became 1 tower. Not to mention 1 World Trade Center equals 93. Again, the Illuminati. It's all about the sun and light. Heliocentrism equals 201. The sun 93 million miles away. Clockwork. Heliocentrism, agreed to in the 16th century, the same century the Jesuits were created, the same century English was standardized with the spellings we use today, the same century that the calendar emerged out of that all this stuff is synced up with. You know. So again, 175 days after Gavin Newsom's birthday, Pope Francis 175, the first Jesuit pope. And then again, 107 days after Pope Francis' birthday, the other shooting value. And when I first wrote my book, Letters and Numbers, I intentionally made the chapter on mass shootings 107 pages long, but then right as I was finishing the book, Stoneman Douglas happened, and I had to add on, so it didn't end up being perfect like I intended, but I could have made it a lot longer. There's a lot of mass shootings by this exact same number pattern in U.S. history. You know, all the going postal stuff, it was all this same pattern over and over. Go through the years and see how many mass shooters were 44 years old. Right now, they don't even have a suspect, you know. Don't be surprised if when they find the suspect, he's 44 years old. That happens so many times. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I just want to also play this dunce right here who tried to attack my work. And I just want you to listen to this moron who knows nothing about this study say how the ciphers I'm showing you are unrelated. And again, a completely baseless claim where I have tens of thousands of examples literally showing how the ciphers are all used in unison. Again, Gavin Newsom gave his gun control speech 131 days after his birthday on the 49th day of the year. Now we have the mass shooting synced up with his speech, and they locked down the streets 13th through 9th, you know? Now let's listen to this idiot.
Nonsense. And notice how in the base ciphers, Mars has values of 15, 51, and 57, and Moon has values of 15, 51, and 57.
So, they are the same, yes, but in different sections, are they not? Can't really compare them.
And again, he comes out here out of nowhere and says you can't really compare them, having absolutely zero fucking clue what he's talking about. And again, here's how the ciphers work. They are used ritualistically, in tandem, and this is how we figured it out. We didn't start out by knowing these 4 ciphers. I learned from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, the alphabetic order, and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So I knew shooting 107 and 44. That's just like where we started. But then when we realized to run it in reverse, that's where we saw the other half of the code. And it's so obvious that they do it this way because it lines up every day. And again, for that moron there that vouches for government activities, again, he's part of the problem. He's just in line with the authority, believing the bullshit they feed us every day, marching along to it. Meanwhile, here's me on the other side saying, look at what our government's doing to us. They're using this Kabbalistic code. Again, they do this because Kabbalah says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. So this is how they play God over the masses. This is how they steer the masses like they are God. And they might as well be, because look at what they've done. They've created a world in their image that behaves the way they want them to, that believes the stuff they want them to. You know? For most people, their God is authority. And this is how the authority operates, day after day. So, oh, by the way, just so happens that the mayor of Sacramento right now is the 56th mayor, Gavin Newsom, 56, Society of Jesus, 56. And when you run his name the other way, it's also 79, like Society of Jesus is also 79. Remember, Anthony Fauci equals 56, the Jesuit, the pandemic declared on his 79th day, being 79 years old, coronavirus 56. But from the day that Newsom became governor, January 7th, 2019, to this mass shooting was the first day of his 169th week in office. And look at the mayor's name, Darrell Steinberg, 169. And, you know, again, there's plenty of Catholic people in this world who are good. There's plenty of Jewish people in this world who are good. But just take a look. Gavin Newsom's Catholic, Darrell Steinberg's Jewish, And the Jesuits were created with Catholics and Jews, just like how your Supreme Court's all Catholic and Jewish. And it should remind you who's pulling the strings on this. You can't blame every Catholic and Jew, but again, the conspiracy is Catholic and Jewish. The most shining example in the world of the Catholic-Jewish agenda is the State of Israel. State of Israel equals 201. David Ben-Gurion dead 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. David Ben-Gurion equals 145 like Catholic, like Israel established on 14/5 at the end of the Jesuit world wars that were all scripted by the same old number code. And if anyone really was killed at this shooting, which is a big question mark, keep in mind it came 170 days after the 62nd birthday of the mayor. And again, those ciphers that, the British dunce said you can't compare. Well, the numbers come together again as they so often do. Sacrifice 170 and 62. A mass shooting that reportedly killed 6 people and injured, I've seen reports between 10 and 15 more. But 170 days after his 62nd birthday. So, people really did die. It was planned. And again, this shooting suspect that's out there on the loose, And again, just the fact that they don't have anything at a day and age where there's cameras everywhere and surveillance everywhere, it's just a joke. But yeah, look at it. Area of mass shooting right between Sacramento City Hall, the California State Capitol, and the Golden One Center. I mean, come on. You know what's funny is the Warriors played on this day, right? The Golden State Warriors, and they picked up their 49th win. Of course, Warriors is 49 like gun control, and the Jazz went down with 107 points. And today, the day of the shooting, so this was the last game, this was last night just before the shooting. Then today, the Warriors come in with 49 wins, whereas the Kings come in with 49 losses, gun control in the most pure. And lo and behold, the Golden State Warriors and Kings are going to play their 404th game all-time tonight, like shooting 44. And again, for people who don't get it, we're showing year after year how the sports and the news are scripted. Once again, the Utah Jazz are part of the script. Let me take you down memory lane. Out of the 30 teams, the only team in the league whose full name equals 113 is the Utah Jazz. This is why Michael Jordan 113 won 2 of his chips against him. It's why Kobe Bryant played his last game against him. It's why Kobe Bryant's retirement poem is Dear Basketball 113. It's right before his death. He supposedly helped out with a car accident 113 days after his birthday. But remember, when you write out coronavirus pandemic, it's also 113. And the Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert from Paris, France, like the Jesuits, supposedly had coronavirus, causing the league to be locked down on March 11th, 11/3, the same day the pandemic was declared. So anyway, the Utah Jazz just happened to be playing the Golden State Warriors, that top team in California, who just happens to pick up their 49th win. And again, like we always say, out of the 4 ciphers, the most pure is the dark blue one, Warriors 49, gun control 49. And it just so happens that on the day of Gavin Newsom getting his gun control wish, this is exactly what he needed. It just so happens that the Warriors come in with 49 wins and the Kings come in with 49 losses. And if the favored Warriors do win tonight, the Kings will pick up their 193rd loss all time against the Warriors, which is the 44th prime. And I suppose one team would get the 50th win and the other would get the 50th loss, which is also gun control in reverse. So again, the same things that I've taught day in and day out. News is scripted. The sports is scripted with it. It's why the rituals are always so perfect. It's why the numbers don't lie. It's why it all lines up as perfectly as it does. And then you got morons like this uploading videos on March 29, 2022, trying to talk about things that they don't know about. Again, look up what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. It's when an idiot who knows nothing about a subject tries to act like they're an expert on it. You know what? You're looking at the foremost expert in the subject of gematria of the English language and how the government uses it for ritual, because I've been doing it every single day for 9 straight years, something that nobody ever did before I came along. And again, other people obviously know about it, like Manly P. Hall hinted about it in his book, but he gave the knowledge to the reader and said, go out there and use it and see what you find. And I don't think anybody ever did that until I came along, or at least nobody documented anything about it. But, yeah, I mean, Simon Dan If you want to take a stab at how this is all a coincidence, you better read my books first and see how long the chapter is about mass shootings in the same old number code. You'll be reading for a long time. And again, it's not I'm telling you guys, it's not an accident that this is in the headlines at the same time. This is a reminder of the concert shooting ritual that had a lot to do with 93 and 201. Again, Jason Aldean, 201, Las Vegas Strip. 20, or what is it? Hold on. Oh, it's the, sorry, you got to put it in front of it. It's the Las Vegas Strip, it's 201. But that's where the shooting was, right? And it was was it the Mandalay Bay Casino? Let me see. If it's 20, or if it's 101, it's right. It was. Mandalay Bay Casino 101, Casinos 101, Assassin is 101. It was October 1st. They said there was an assassin shooting from the Mandalay Bay Casino at a concert, right? And now they're giving you the same numbers, right? 10 injured, 1 dead, same time as this. It's what they do. It's the number games, you guys. It's the number games. It's the same old numbers. It's the subliminal messages. It's the things that are meant to connect with your subconscious. How many people read this headline this morning and thought, man, that reminds me of Las Vegas? Guarantee a lot did. And then just for more familiar patterns, they said it happened at about 11:30 in Dallas, which is 113 land. And you know how I was just talking about the NBA only has one team with a full name that equals 113? Out of the 30 teams, there's only 2 teams in the whole league that have Gematria 113. Utah Jazz 113, Dallas 113. And of course, on the day they locked down the league, March 11th, 2020, Dallas scored 113 points. And this year on March 11, 2022, Dallas played again and also scored 113 points. And the Utah Jazz were also used in a big ritual as Greg Popovich became the winningest coach all time in history. And again, just right here, March 11, 2020, Dallas Mavericks box score. Here it is right here. They won with 113 points, the most abused number in the NBA. And then look at it here in 2022, you know. Dallas beats Houston 113-100, you know. It's comedy. Paying tribute to the numbers. Rigged games, scripted to the point. Technology to ensure outcomes. Clockwork day after day. You know, yesterday in March Madness, both teams win with 81 points. Roy Williams in attendance to watch the games. And Roy Williams coached Kansas and UNC, which is now the matchup. And Roy Williams' birthday is August 1st, 8-1. 8-1, he watches both of his former teams win with 81 points. This is the 83rd college basketball tournament. In 83, North Carolina State Wolfpack won. NC State Wolfpack 83. The championship's going to be exactly 8 months and 3 days after Roy Williams' birthday in New Orleans, Louisiana. You know. New Orleans, Louisiana. 83. But yeah, Roy Williams. Here, Roy Williams' birthday. Again, your news and your sports. College and pro, it's all synced up the same way. He's 71 years old right now. Every year, March Madness in 71. March Madness in 71. Kansas won yesterday, 71 days after the death of Bill Self Sr. And they put it away with the 71st points of the game on a really deep 3 to ice the game. It was the dagger. And here's what's messed up. Bill Self Sr. died 71 days earlier. Yesterday, Kansas got their 114th win in tournament history on 4-2. Coach K, his career ended with Duke after 42 years on 4-2. Championship, number we talk about all the time with sports. North Carolina gets their 131st win in the tournament to advance to the championship. You see? Scripted. Tar Heels yesterday, they scored 34 in the first half, 47 in the second half. And you got morons like this saying you can't compare the ciphers, they're not related. It's like, where the fuck is your opinion coming from? Surely not the pockets of my followers who've put thousands in them, you know, understanding that this is the code and you can see it most effectively in the world of rigged sports, you know. Tar Heels 34 in the first half, 47 in the second half. You know what's hilarious? Jordan yesterday. Jordan put out a shoe. Michael Jordan put out a shoe yesterday. Guy who benefited from the scripted world of basketball. He released an 85 Georgetown sneaker yesterday on the day that North Carolina advanced to the championship. North Carolina is an 8 seed this year. The only time the 8 seed went to the championship in history was the year Villanova, the 8 seed, beat Georgetown in 85. Then on the day that UNC advances to the championship as an 8 seed, Jordan just happens to put out an 85 Georgetown sneaker. I mean, come on. You got to be brain dead. So, the 85 themed Georgetown sneaker with the college navy. And you know what else is funny? All throughout the whole tournament, they've been showing this Corona beer commercial of shades of blue. And in the beginning, Vince Carter, who plays for North Carolina, he tells Devin Booker that his color is one and done. Then Kentucky gets upset by the Jesuit school St. Peter's on St. Patrick's Day, and the St. Peter's Peacocks run ends on the 84th day of the year on Peacock Day. As the Jesuit program Xavier wins the NIT in the 84th tournament, but Jesuits 84, Peacock Day 84, and right before they won, what's his name? Elnardo Julian Webster. That's what it is. Elnardo Julian Webster, the greatest player in Peacock history. He dies 16 days after his birthday before the Peacocks win in the Sweet 16 on the 84th day of the year. And again, he died a year to the day of Elgin Baylor dying by the numbers, just before Baylor won the championship. Elnardo Julian Webster, 84. Peacock's last win comes on the 84th day of the year on Peacock Day. And we got morons going, well, that's in that cipher, so you can't compare that to Peacock Day and Jesuit being 84. Yeah, you can. You need to shut the fuck up if you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm tired of sorry-ass motherfuckers talking about shit that they don't know about. And by the way, 85 was 37 years ago. Remember, Jordan equals 26 forwards, 37 in reverse, just like Bryant. And let's not forget when Kobe died on the 26th day of the year, on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant, the football great coach, while traveling from Catholic Mass, dying on the Pope's 41st day of his age at age 41, where Kobe also died on his 157th day of being 41. And again, some morons, they want to tell you that you can't compare ciphers. They're not related. Again, Simon Dan, I know you ran back under your troll bridge, but you need to come back and explain where your bullshit opinion came from, because we all know it came straight from your asshole. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. I do got to hop on the Patreon. We're going to talk the March Madness Championship and go over the Roy Williams narrative that is. Again, Roy Williams coached Kansas and North Carolina. The year he transferred from Kansas to North Carolina was the year Bill Self became the coach of Kansas. Again, Bill Self's father just died by the numbers. And what do you know? It's all synced up with his success making it to the championship. And what's sad is where sacrifice is 73, ritual sacrifice is 73, and Carolina's also 73, and Bill Self will be in the championship exactly 73 days after the death of his father. Again, he just won in the Final Four 71 days after the death of his father, and now it's synced up with the 71-year Roy Williams, where again, year after year, it's all about 71. 2016, I said it was case closed. North Carolina was going to beat Gonzaga in the championship before the tournament began. It would be all about 71. They beat them with 71 points. That's back when Roy Williams was on that team. And don't forget, the coach, the greatest coach in North Carolina history, Dean Smith, he died at 83. Dead at 83. Now North Carolina back in the championship in the 83rd tournament. So, anyway, we'll be talking more about it on Patreon, but again, rig sports, rig news, ritual murder, same stuff day after day, undeniable unless you're in complete denial and suffering from a major case of cognitive dissonance. And sadly, a lot of people are. But I don't know how many more examples I need to give of shootings in 44 and the government, and we just talked about it not even that long ago. And then just, again, 201 on the 93rd day of the year. Just reminds me, you know what? I might have to tuck this in. I mean, I already have a whole list of examples of 201 and 93 in the book, but hey, I suppose I can write 2 more sentences about this one. So, again, the Jesuits served the Pope. The Jesuits own this nation. We're not a sovereign nation. Everything about U.S. history is a lie. Most things in your science book are a lie. again, about the only subject that doesn't lie to you is mathematics. About the most reliable subject there is. And when you think about it, in math, didn't they bring letters and numbers together? Don't you remember when you got to 5 plus x equals 11? Solve for x. Move the 5 over here, subtract the 5 from the 11. Oh, x must be 6. You know what I mean? So, this guy is such a pretentious douchebag. And you know why he is? Because he knows he's at the top of the fucking world. This is one of the most highest ranking Jesuits there is on the earth right now. And he thinks he's invincible. And that's the problem with these frauds in our government. They think they're invincible because they know they have humanity under their thumb. But the thing that needs to change in this world is governments need to begin to fear their people. You know? You want to keep staging shootings to take away rights and liberties? Maybe. Maybe that should provoke... Well, I can't say what I want to say, but anyway. The Constitution does say we have the right to protect ourselves from enemies, foreign and domestic. And again, Gavin Newsom is a domestic enemy. He's a domestic enemy of everything that America's supposed to stand for. Not that I'm sure it ever stood for any of the stuff that we learned about in slave school. It's all part of the illusion, but I think all the illusions they sold us, we should actually turn them into reality. I think that should be our purpose as a people. To get free, to have real separation from church and state, which we don't because the nation's run by the Catholic Church. And, probably a few synagogues too. But anyway, we will leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you for everyone who hit the like. And thank you to everyone who supports the Patreon. If you want to join us, starts in about 20 minutes. Shout out to Mr. Futures. Mr. Future's doing great work in the sports community in the chat. And again, make sure you're supporting all the people doing the good work. D26. The other night at the end of TFR when I was going over the channels to subscribe to, I forgot to mention Rambo's channel. I forgot to mention Jonathan's channel. But Charmed One gave us a good link with all those. So if you go to the Wednesday night show, the top pinned post, Charmed One's post, she's got all the good Gematria channels to follow there. But that's all for now, Truth Seeker.